You know what I hate? I hate doing gigs in any coastal area because they're always too relaxed. They're everything that's gone wrong with our society, I think, like the Gold Coast or coastal areas.
Yeah.
And you'd see that when you're at a gig. They're all just tanned. They're wearing like a Hawaiian shirt and they're just eating and drinking as much as they can, doing drugs, and then they they don't want to hear any ideas or think at all. They just want to be on holidays.
Yeah.
You know, it just makes me
It's
so angry when I do stand up there.
it's a tough crowd when there's a beach 50 meters away. It's very hard to compete with paradise.
Well, they don't want to hear about anything negative that's going on in the world because they don't want to be reminded of it. They don't want to think.
That's why they moved to these areas, because there is no negativity in some of these coastal areas. It's pure hedonistic utopia kind of thing. I think it's a dystopia, but
It's
for them,
it's just about partying. I hate partying.
yeah,
You know, it's just about like let's have as good a time as possible every day, and it's just so empty. You know, they all just have
I
these
think,
fucking
yeah.
tans. These fucking tans. You know.
And I think all the gigs in coastal areas are in nightclubs that are just transformed into nightclubs like as soon as the comedy
Man, I
starts.
did a gig. I guess I did a gig the other night. As soon as I finished, I bombed because they just stared at me like, "Why are you talking about that?" Like they didn't understand. It's like you said, your worst jokes that you hate kill on the coast, and the jokes you like bomb.
Yeah, it's a
Whereas it's
complete
the
flip.
opposite. It's the opposite in the city.
Yeah, there's a sort of in urban centers, there's a weird frustration that just permeates everything. Everyone's pissed off and like they're like trying to get a Starbucks onto the train and it like flips and like they scold someone and it's just like fuck. Like they're in a lift going down to the train, like people just packed in and someone like sneezes near your face and there's a guy eating a curry on the quiet carriage, like having a phone call playing Candy Crush or whatever. So you're just so pissed off. You're like, fuck, I'd like someone to maybe process this for me in
Yeah,
kind of
there's
a
yeah,
misanthropic rant. You
that's
know what I mean?
right.
Like I'd like to hear a misanthropic rant after being on the train, doing a commute from my job in the CBD or whatever.
That's right. Yeah, no, you're totally right. Like the other night, I finished this gig and I just totally bombed everything about any of that. What you're talking about, just totally over the head. As soon as I finished, immediately walked off stage, bombed, and then just dance music plays and they all just start getting up dancing. Like, yeah, like now the party continues. Like I've just absorbed through my fucking face one type of entertainment and now we're just going to just immediately shift into the next thing, which is dancing. And all the girls are like dancing in a circle with pink drinks and shit. There's no way for me to get into that circle.
No.
There's no way for me to penetrate that social. Like I can't pretend to have fun to be like, yeah, this is fun. This empty
Yeah, it doesn't
shit.
work. Yeah.
No, you can't
Yeah,
pretend.
I've tried pretending to have fun. It just doesn't work. People can feel it. Yeah, like I've tried it before. You just go, yeah, like it's like weird enthusiasm. You're like, yeah, it's fun. Ah, drinks.
It reeks
Like you
of
just start saying
desperation.
words.
It reeks of
Yeah, and
desperation.
unfortunately, desperation is not likable.
No,
For some
it's
reason. But
repulsive.
yeah, which is a shame because when you're desperate, all you need is what you're not getting.
Exactly. I wish desperation was like an attractive thing. I'd do a
So
lot
if you go
better.
around to people, if a barista goes, "How you going?" and you go, "Yeah, I'm lonely," they will recoil visibly. Like they'll be like, "Oh, like that's awful." Like you've become a repugnant object at this point
Right.
because you're declaring that you need something. from the
Right,
world.
right. It's desperate. Right. Yeah. Yeah. It is
And
it
they
is
have
pretty
what you
funny to
need.
go to your barista, how are you? And you go, I'm lonely. I think that's the funniest answer. I'm gonna
They're
do that
not
next time I
stoked.
do a Zoom call, like an actual work call. Hey
Yeah.
everybody, thanks for coming on. How are you? I'm lonely.
Yeah. They it actually disgusts them as well. It's like, really, like, Jesus, and you need me maybe to hang out with you to assuage you of this
Yeah, like
problem?
why are
Because
you
I have,
telling me this?
because loneliness, there's so much stigma to it,
Yeah.
and they have a cure to it, which is just hanging out with you, but they've chosen to not give you the vaccine to your problem, which you've just told them you have. Because if you didn't tell them, maybe you could have had a chance of having lunch or, like, going to a movie or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But you
That's
should have
so
kept it a
true.
secret. It's the tragedy of it. But
So funny. Yeah, I mean, I can't party, but I could sit in a dark room and brood.
yeah,
You know.
it's a shame that people don't get FOMO for that, for your experience of sitting in a room brooding. They're not like got coveting your experience.
Yeah, I'm not going to Instagram it.
Yeah, it's just a black square. They think you're doing like a BLM solidarity post.
But it's just you staring into the void. Everyone's like, "Woo, looks like fun. So good to see."
Yeah, party. Yeah, partying. It's crazy as well the way you said that, the way it flipped from one entertainment to another form, like stand-up comedy and now nightclubs straight away, like not even a break.
Well, they can't have a break of silence because people might start thinking about themselves, and they're like, "Fuck, what are we?
That's what
Oh no, it's Pitbull. Boo, boo, boo. Snoop Dogg's on. Sick. Don't worry about it. You know what I
that's what
mean?
this whole society is. Yeah, it's don't have a void, please. I don't want to break in like one stimulus to another, like some kind of hedonistic Tarzan, jumping from hyperstimulus to hyperstimulus.
Coastal areas is just all about that. It's just about one experience to the next, and
Oh,
it's fucking disgusting. Like the other night, I'm just screaming at the audience, just going, "Well, yeah, why don't you just build a pipe to your fucking hole and just have chicken wings and nachos stuffed in your hole so you don't have to move while you drink your cocktail and sit back and stare at me." And the woman goes, she goes, "You don't even know what's on the menu here." And I said, "Let me guess, it's a soy reduced fennel sausage, organic pork from Bangalore, fucking with a fried kale salad in coconut oil." And she's like, "Yes." I said, "What happened to cornflakes? Flakes of corn that were roasted and fed to mental patients. That's how cornflakes started. Dr. Kellogg's fed mental patients cornflakes, and then he went, fuck, this is so good. They're enjoying it so much that I should sell it to the entire planet and make it a staple of families' diet."
yeah. What happened to systematically pacifying a nation through corn syrup flakes? Like, when
All
are we going to go
food,
back to those days?
all food should be tested through a mental asylum. Those were the days.
Yeah. I mean, now the food is like keeping you out of a mental asylum because it's diversifying your gut microbiome so you don't get depressed
That's
because you've
true.
had kimchi. That's the type of thing you see in the coast as well. I remember I just saw someone on the phone describing the contents of their poke bowl. They're just like, it's an egg mixed with teriyaki salmon and broad bean peas. And like, I just thought, this person has led a trauma-free existence. Like, they've never been thrown through a window or like,
They should throw them through windows more, for starters. And then you get your poke bowl. the thing is that
Yeah.
it's just everything's a party now. Everything's got to be a party. Go to Woolworths, dance music's playing, and the voice is like, "Hey, welcome to Woolworths, fun party, woo!" Everything's got to be. And then people wear earpods, like you were saying, they wear earpods, so they're having a party inside the party because there's this party here. Everyone's just
They're having another
constantly
party.
like. Then they party in their car. You go to the gym. There's dance music playing. You know, we think freedom is partying.
Yeah.
We mistake
That's not in the
partying for freedom.
Yeah, it's not like it's not like in Plato's Republic. He's like, and then you will party once we have democracy or whatever. Like,
Yeah,
it's not like you get to democracy and then you get the cocktails come out. Like you get a margarita and a can.
that's
and, like,
yeah.
spray it.
That's the end of the Communist Manifesto, and then we'll reach full communism, and there'll be a party, and there'll be dance music, and because freedom is about diligence and discipline and to the continual fight to keep liberty. It's not just partying. Like my granddad didn't die in World War II just so he could listen to dubstep while he gets a poke bowl.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not. That's not. Yeah, thousands of years of sacrifice, and then there will be parties forever. Like it'll just be one part. It's such a banal thing. Like the level of partying. This is how far it is. I've seen this phenomenon now. You know those UE booms, those like portable audio. People are bringing their party with them into public.
Yeah.
Into the public. Like they're like, I'm going to bring my party here. And I've seen people, this is a thing I've seen heaps, is where people will take UE booms into the bathroom because they can't even take a shit without listening to Skrillex.
Yeah.
Like for 1 second. They're like, I need a party in there.
It's got to be a party. You got diarrhea. You got diarrhea. Wouldn't it be cool if there was a good a bass line to the diarrhea that you're having from your fucking off pokeball, you dog, you mutt, huh? Because God forbid you have a second of reflection while you're on the coast. That's a Gold Coast thing. That go to the gym, get ripped, look good, listen to music, get in the car, listen to music, dance, party, make money somehow, normally through Instagram. And then at night, you fucking go out and party more and try and fucking do drugs and.
The economy doesn't even make sense there, eh? It's just some guy that looks like a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
Wearing a singlet. Do you know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck are you doing? It's Tuesday, cunt.
Yeah. Where do you get your money?
And you got like a fucking flap brim and you're walking around with fucking a margarita and nacho plate.
You're having too much fun, mate. It's just, you know what the problem with it is? I'm not saying I'm opposed to fun. The problem is that they have no introspection and the value of integrity, honesty, honor, you know, like values that we should have that I don't have, but they don't. Yeah, I don't have them either.
No, they don't have. But they don't know they don't have.
Well, they don't know they don't have them exactly, and they put no value on those things. There's no value because all the value is how you look and how much fun you can have.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that's of any value.
It's basically, it's a dopamine quotient. It's how much dopamine you can burn per day.
Exactly. Dopamine addicts.
Yeah.
Tarzaning from one stimulus to the next.
Yeah. Just screaming. Because that's all they do is yell Yahoo and stuff. These people.
They only make noises.
They just go Yahoo. Like I did one the other day. They were just like literally like just whooping. And some of them were like slamming the tables as well, like that and stuff. And sometimes you'd think it was because of you, but often it was because one of them had brought back another can that opened and fizzed everywhere, full of another drink. Like it was like an espresso martini gone awry or something.
Yeah, well, the communication between them isn't like a conversation. It's very noise based, because when you take away the woo and the partying, the drinks, the music, the constant stimulation coming in all the fucking every way, there's nothing to talk about. That's why the music has to start as soon as the entertainment finishes. Because so that's why their communication's noise based. It's all like woo, oh shit, whoop whoop whoop, yeah, hey, whoa,
like
whoa.
Tarzan. Like Tarzan, they communicate through a series of grunts and yahoos
as they swing,
yo.
MDMA, leap, jump, going for a swim on the beach, leap, jump, sun tanning, leap, jump, sauna, leap, jump, poolside with a woman.
Nacho plate.
And with every jump, they nacho plate, whoop whoop, oh. Yeah.
But there's a soundtrack to that.
Dancing.
The soundtrack to this. Music is the one constant to all that, because it's where thought ends. Music starts where thought ends. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't have a thought when it's like, boom, yeah, tonight, forever, baby. Yeah, like you're not having thoughts about like, fuck, maybe I should, reevaluate who I am.
Yeah, because that's the problem with it. The suntan, the tattoos, the biceps, the constant music, the constant partying, the gym, and the constant obsession with Instagram and all that. It's all outward focused, and it makes any inward introspection, deep-seated conversation of any sort or analysis or value of morals or ethics impossible.
Yeah.
It's lifestyle obsession.
Yeah, it's crazy. I did a gig at the Coast and I was hosting it, and the guy said, yeah, just tell them that people are going to be doing pingers at a nightclub. This is going to turn into a nightclub and there'll be pingers.
Right.
And so it literally turned into a nightclub as soon as the show started. He's like, it's going to turn into a nightclub in 5 minutes. And then everyone at the show was then at the nightclub. Like, it just became a nightclub. It was unbelievable.
That's why
similar to what you were saying.
Yeah, coastal regions turn into everything that's gone wrong with our society. It's like Rome before it fell.
Yeah.
Everyone's at the Colosseum going, whoop, whoop, kill the Christians with lions, drinking wine and shit that's got fucking lead in it.
Yeah, don't have a 5-minute break between the two things, in case you go, fuck, who am I?
Yeah.
Like a break between the comedy and the nightclub.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's just like, that was what was so crazy about it, is like at 9:45, this is going to turn into a nightclub. So if you could just go straight to 9:45 and then it'll just,
they
literally
no gap.
Crazy.
No gap.
There's no intermission for Tarzan.
No.
Because intermissions where you go, fuck, maybe I should hang myself.
Well, there's no gap, because when you go from vine to vine, if you don't grab the next vine, Skrillex on ecstasy, you fall to the forest floor, and the forest floor is the dark, deep void and the knowledge that we are fucking alone in this universe, and we question the fragility and the sheer illusion of the ego and this fucking weird contraption of a personality we have, which is really just a series of mistakes and contradictions and bullshit. You don't want to think about that, do you? And that's the thing. That's my whole point, is that with Rome and with all these places, America, everywhere, where it's just been a big old fucking party, you get lazy. And when you get lazy, you don't engage in democracy. And when you don't engage in democracy, you don't read, you don't question, you don't think critically and assess your place in the world. Then what happens is tyranny. And that's the cycle. That's the well-documented cycle. And so when I go to fucking the Gold Coast and, I finish a gig and they crack open a can of espresso martini and just party and dance and don't want to engage at all in anything that of critical thought, I just think, they're going to pull that trick on you where the government shoots everyone and puts you into camps. You fucking dogs, you mutts, you cunts. Fucking
they'll
party.
They'll have dance parties in the new camps. It'll just be like, you'll just be dancing and they'll just fucking shoot you in the head. But yeah, Tarzan needs to keep a hold of those vines, eh? Like, you can't afford to, because if you've ever partied or like done festivals, or there's a thing where if you're just burning the candle at both ends, you can't afford to stop because that's when you end up in the mental asylum.
Yeah. Eating
Like, or
cornflakes.
Tarzan, as you said, onto the forest floor and does a walkabout. It's a suicide forest, like that one in Japan or whatever.
Yeah. When you fall off the vines, jumping like Tarzan from stimulus to stimulus with constant music, never stopping your party, you fall into the suicide forest. It's a great metaphor. Suicide forest being a mental asylum where you eat cornflakes. Ironically.
And have a walkabout.
You know what the deepest fear of in our cultural void is? And I think I worked it out. You know how they, post the war, like, the wars have ended.
Yeah.
Like the major wars, the state on state wars. The greatest fear of the white man in the cultural void and so on, without any battle. There's no struggle for us, right? Like, what great struggle are you a part of?
No.
I'm not a part of a great struggle to empower the state or fucking for my God, or there's no great struggle in life except we do yoga and try to eat well and try not to smoke and drink. That's our great struggle. Right?
Choice paralysis.
Choice paralysis. Should
Yeah.
I have the espresso martini or just the regular one?
That's the biggest one.
Yeah.
That is actually the struggle now. It's like, maybe
Right.
I should go on the 14th of August and then stay for 5 days. Or I could stay for a week, but then I'll maybe miss a christening.
So the
That's
greatest
what people
terror
think.
you can face now is when culture puts a mirror up to you, what you're missing. So like
Yeah.
the other night I was at a Turkish restaurant and there was a belly dancer and started coming over to the table, and it was me and some other like middle-class dads. And it was like, woo, like culture formed around us. And we were like, oh no, we don't engage in this sort of ritualistic. And then the belly dance was trying to get one of the fat, balding accountant cunts up to dance with him. And the terror, go do it, Kevin. I can't, I don't know. No, I'm all right. Thank you. That moment where the belly dancer tries to pull up a balding fat accountant into a position where he has to move and re-engage in culture, forced at gunpoint. Fucking do it. You fucking do it. Oh God. Oh God. Like that. It's like that.
Yeah.
Oh, like he was utterly shot. Like it had pushed him to hit the brink. It wouldn't surprise me if he killed himself after that. He didn't. I saw him at school, but picking up his kid. But that is since the firebombing of London, when they just tried to burn London down, the Nazis. Since then, that's the greatest terror we face is the belly dancer.
Yeah. It's being picked by someone doing
a semi-wog,
cultural appropriation.
It's like you said the other day, you're on a date or whatever, and a group of Portuguese men came in and started dancing like like that and shit, like having fun culturally in a way that we don't understand. And you went, we're leaving now.
When the Portuguese dancers arrive, it's when I've got to go back home. It's when I take that as a cue to leave, because there's that moment where you're going to be called up. They're going like that, and there's like a tango dance kind of thing, like a line dancing formation.
Right.
And then you're sitting on the couch trying to like pretend it's not happening, and you're called up.
That's the
to
terror.
do it, and then suddenly you're like trying to pretend you're like part of it, like like you're being exposed as this just incredibly awkward,
alienated, culturally void,
stilted,
unable to connect white man who lives in their head. That's the mirror.
Who's just
that
been
the belly
embarrassed
dancer
by a semicircle. Who's been embarrassed by a semicircle of semi-wogs who've exposed your
Portuguese aren't wogs, but they're semi-wogs. They're semi-wogs. Like the the way the belly dancer's stomach moves, and there were multiple dancing around this Kevin or whatever. And and it looks like a warped mirror, like the mirror in the fun house.
Yeah.
It's like that. it's like a warped mirror of Kevin looking at himself going, wow, what am I?
Well, yeah, belly dancers have a real knack for picking the most awkward cunt in a group
Yeah.
to be embarrassed. Like,
Yeah.
it's like they get trained at belly dancer school.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, because they don't want to pick the person who's into it. They're not going to pick the guy that's like proficient in tango or whatever.
Yeah. No, of course not. They're picking the.
It's the ritualistic humiliation of the white man at the semi-wog restaurant. Like,
It's the ritualistic humiliation of the white man by the semi-wogs.
and you know, that's what happens when you go to Brazil or whatever. You just get humiliated because, you know,
Yeah, because
your wife
you're
gets
just
stolen.
surrounded by their culture, and it's just a day of humiliation.
Well, your wife's like, Jose is going to do some palm reading at the retreat center, and you're like, oh yeah, cool. I'll just
Take a Xanax.
I'm just gonna.
I'll take a Xanax and lie in the spa alone with a cocktail while Jose does his stick dance or whatever the semi-wog thing is.
Well, he does fire twirling, and you're enthralled by it.
Yeah. You're like,
At an
yeah.
location.
And he scoops up all the middle-aged white women like fucking, lobsters at the bottom of the sea. Whatever that means. You know what I mean? Effortlessly. I was reading this climate change book, right? And it's filled with quotes from Leonardo DiCaprio because he's like a climate change hero now. Did you know that?
Yeah. He's on all the books.
He's
like,
on all
with
the
quotes
books.
saying like great stuff.
That's what he says about climate.
Books.
Yeah. Good stuff. I just feel like it's easy to be a hero when you just sleep with supermodels on a yacht. Like it gives you a real, kick in your step when your entire lifestyle is just having sex with supermodels and sleeping on a yacht in the Caribbean.
Yeah, it's easier to tackle those things without stress from a no stress perspective.
Man, if I had woke up with between two supermodels, I'd get up and go, you know what? Let's do the recycling. Let's do something good for people.
Yeah, because it's like Maslow's hierarchy of needs or whatever. You've got, like supermodel level, then it's like, let's look at the permafrost. Like, let's learn what permafrost means because I've got the time now. Because like I'm at the top of the pyramid of needs or whatever.
Yeah. Fucking supermodels is so far up the pyramid that you can't even see it. It's like this tiny little, because that's pretty far. Not many people get to that level of just having unlimited supply of supermodels on a yacht.
Yeah.
So it really frees you up to think about the catastrophic glacial melting and so on.
Yeah, it's harder to recycle if you're doing like shift work and your circadian rhythms are all out of whack because you work at nighttime.
Yeah, you work
junk food.
Yeah, a lot of people don't have the brain space to. Yeah, I feel like the supermodel. I wonder what his carbon footprint of the supermodels are. Well, you know what I mean? Like, is there a carbon footprint? Like, if he wasn't shipping so many supermodels around the planet, that there wouldn't be less carbon in the world.
Well, that's what annoys me actually, because I'm sure he like recycles and does it all. Like, his place would be all eco-friendly. Like special lights and everything would be designed to minimize. You know what I mean? In like the most trendy way possible.
Yeah.
But then I think people should have their carbon footprint above their head, like a digital avatar.
Right.
So you can actually see how much they've done, because I've been like, you know, people have castigated me for like not putting the right recycling in the thing.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like you accidentally put the thing into the green thing because you thought it was biodegradable or whatever. Like, you know, just small errors.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm sure, you know, people like him would be like, oh, you put it in the wrong thing, and they'd give you shit about it
Yeah.
and be very condescending and stuff. It's like, but how about we just see what your actual footprint is so you can't criticize me if yours is more than mine?
Yeah. It's like a symbolic thing, isn't it? Because it's like, hey, don't put coffee cups in the plastic thing because they're actually not plastic that's recyclable. Anyway, I'm going to fly an entire Boeing 707 filled with naked supermodels to an island and fuck all of them all night. Yeah, just don't put that coffee cup in the wrong place. You can't.
Yeah, like having
That's
a go
that's
at
my
you.
impression of
And
Leonardo DiCaprio, by the way.
yeah, is telling you to like wash the coffee cup and reuse it, you fucking dog.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. And then, meanwhile, yeah, because I just feel like you need to just add up all their, you know, output of into the world, and then like put it in an Excel spreadsheet and give them a number of how bad they are, so they can't criticize people who are doing way better than them on a total level, like
The
holistically.
the celebrities would be fucked.
Oh,
Celebrities would be
absolutely. And yet
fucked.
they're the people who talk about it the most. And I think that's sort of a problem, isn't it?
Oh, Kevin Hart, like watching his doco, the amount that cunt consumes and flies and just like it's insane. Like his carbon footprint must be one of the biggest in the world, I reckon, for an individual that isn't a company. Like
Yeah.
it's insane.
But imagine if he reprimanded you for like putting the recycling in the wrong bin.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It'd be infuriating, wouldn't it?
It would, yeah. It's something that people don't like. All celebrities are just coat hangers for mainstream culture and products and shit. You know, you got Leonardo DiCaprio running around the world, fucking supermodels, telling us to, not to drive to the shops too much. It's like, what's his
Yeah,
lifestyle like? How much oil does he
it'd
use to
be
cover these supermodels? Like, does he cover them in oil? Probably. Like, not
that's oil.
crude
From
oil,
Dubai.
huh?
That would be crude. Yeah, if oil from like, like
It's
you're
crude
talking
oil,
about
but it's
like the
not crude oil.
you're talking about like not Dubai oil,
I'm
like
not
not the
talking
oil
about
that you see from
Arab
a
oil.
sultan,
Yeah,
not a
it's not one of
sultan's
those things
oil.
where the Sultan goes, "Thank you very much, brother, please," and they're like really happy to see Leonardo DiCaprio endorse their fucking Islamic fascist state or whatever. Sometimes
I
they're
could
really
imagine
happy.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Hey,
Yeah, like in the ads they have for the airlines,
yeah,
like the Abu Dhabi airline. It's always
yeah,
like, "Welcome, brother, to our kingdom," and
yeah,
it's like a hologram of a mermaid, like, and
yeah,
you're eating at a Michelin starred restaurant, and there's a
yeah,
beheading outside the building,
yeah,
outside the 7-star resort.
yeah. There's a homosexual
You have
being executed
amazing,
outside the resort, but
but they've got
you're
great seafood.
yeah, but the service is incredible.
I don't like that great service can exist side by side a stoning of an adulterer.
Yeah,
It's too it's too
there's
jarring. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's
Like if
very
I'm in a
it's
hotel with a tiger, where they have tigers because it's so luxurious. You know what I mean? One of those things where they have like wildlife,
yeah,
like in the hotel
yeah,
to make it even more decadent.
yeah. But
There
also
should be no stoning.
they're yeah, the women that are accused of being raped or whatever are getting killed nearby also. It's like that idea that I said where Abu Dhabi or one of those, or maybe the Arab Emirates, launching like a mission to Mars, and it's sort of like, but they're also being cursed by imams, are cursing the space launch,
Yeah,
like they're
it's It's the Flintstones meets.
It's Flintstones meets. Yeah, it's Flintstones meets fucking SpaceX.
It's like
Yabba
Fred
dabba
Flintstone
doo.
cursing.
Yeah.
Yabba dabba Abu Dhabi do. Or whatever. Abu Dhabi do. Yeah. Those places scare me. Where
We
they
don't
just
want to
move
fuck
from
up.
We don't want to fuck up.
We don't want to fuck up in one of those countries and just end up in jail for like eating peanuts or some weird rule that you didn't know existed.
That is the fear, that you've got the wrong brand of peanut, like it's made in Israel or something.
Yeah.
And like next minute you're in a torture cell.
It's like in Malaysia, I went to post a video or something up from my phone and they were like, oh, you can't depict the palace in the background. It's like a really bad thing to do because of its religious significance. And I was like, fuck, dodged a bullet there.
Yeah, because you wouldn't know either way with that. Like, surely the palace might love being depicted, maybe. You know what I mean? Like a homage to the palace.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I took a lovely photo of your palace and it's like, now you're getting beheaded.
Yeah.
For doing them a favor.
Yeah. You were like, I was just trying to get a bit of Instagram coverage of your palace. I didn't realize that was insulting your god.
Yeah. I think, yeah, carbon footprint as an avatar on these people. And
yeah,
then
I
you
agree.
just don't get to condescend anymore if it's like worth 10,000 people on average. Do you know what I mean? Like his is probably worth 10,000 average people, right?
Probably, yeah. Over his lifetime, he would have lived a very extravagant life.
But he'd reprimand like a forklift driver for throwing their ice brake out of their ute or whatever. You know what I mean?
Which they do by the thousands.
Which they do, and it should stop. But you know, like it's just what kind of. But the conversational dynamic of that is sort of ridiculous.
Yeah, like your supermodel budget for flying them around is way worse than the ice break.
Why is that not calculated as part of him? You know what I mean? He gets credit for having the eco mansion that adheres to all the sort of ecological requirements of low, like high sustainability, but we let the jets go. That's still him causing that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So it's symbolism.
It's symbolism
on a weird.
It's exactly what it is.
Because how many ice break would you have to throw out of a car to equal his output?
It'd be millions.
It'd be a day out in Acacia Ridge. Just if you collected them all.
Yeah, you'd have cases and cases of ice breaks. They'd have to drink them all to empty them first. And you just have just thousands, as an experiment, thousands of tradies just going toss, toss, and yelling faggot out the window and abusing cunts while they do it. Just, as part of keep the experiment authentic.
Right. Yeah. You need to adhere to sort of, peer reviewed standards or whatever. But yeah, like it's weird that, I guess the action of throwing something out of a ute or whatever is such a scumbag act.
Yeah.
Whereas like flying around like corporate jets full of supermodels is not like, it's almost like, oh, well, they have to get here somehow to the island.
That's the best example of that is actually Kevin Hart's doco. Because all I was thinking was this cunt's carbon footprint must be absolutely insane. Because he just flies around. Obviously, he's flaunting it. Stadiums of people, private jet everywhere, private car, and he has clothes and products. He just goes shopping constantly, and he just buys luxurious just jewels and shit for he's just like spending all this money. And it's like nobody sees that as just like the same as someone just buying a coal factory and just burning coal for the atmosphere. Like the amount of oil that would have gone into just one of Kevin Hart's tours would be more than, what they're burning off in Saudi Arabia or whatever. Seriously. Like the amount of petrochemical in his lifestyle, but nobody sees it like that.
I guess it's the,
But nobody sees it like that.
I guess it's the, I guess it's the actual throwing something out of a ute or whatever is such a scumbag act. Do you think it's because it's just the way it's presented, eh? Like it's a side effect of him living his dream. It's not. He's
Yeah,
not trying to
because
fuck up
we're so
things.
pro dream and so pro, you know.
Throwing rubbish or coal into like a a heritage site or whatever is just seen as like evil
Yeah,
because it's got a weird intentionality to it. It's like it's not hiding
exactly.
behind like I need to get here to do this or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
But the speaking of private jets, and did you hear about that guy, the head of the IMF, the International Monetary Fund?
No, what did he do?
He was flying people like models and stuff around in a private jet, and he got
Right.
done for pimping. He would fly them to like his UN events and stuff. Like he'd have like a meeting in
It's really weird to think
China or
of
whatever.
like the head of the monetary fund pimping. Like, because he's an old
Yeah,
balding Jewish man with glasses.
yeah. He's like an 85-year-old French like professor
Because you don't think of
of
like
economics.
traditional pimping, do you? When you think of the International Monetary
No,
Fund.
like the pimping ain't easy or whatever.
Yeah. Yo, bitch, you better get out here, man. You lucky this currency's been devalued, bitch, because I'll be paying you devalued currency, bitch. Like got the
Nasdaq,
yeah,
yeah,
Nasdaq, nasty ass
like
Nasdaq,
like a
bitch.
pimping car. But yeah, he's just a guy like in a suit drinking like San Pellegrino or whatever, like in a
Yeah, not a guy
boardroom.
with a cane and like a bright purple suit and a hat with a feather in it. Don't like crib walking to the stand at the UN, go, yo, we better fucking devalue this shit, bitch. Yo,
I
we need to
devalue the
ramp up
naira.
interest rates, bitch, so motherfuckers don't spend too much. You know what I'm saying?
This
Liquefy.
Nasdaq is whack in the Nasdaq shit. Yeah, that guy, he's got a cane because of his scoliosis, like because he's so old. Like he's got a walking frame or whatever, a Zimmer frame. As he walks into meetings. But it's just funny
Yeah.
to see him get done. He was cleared of pimping, like, and he's just coming out of the court case looking like he's about to deliver a TED talk or whatever,
I guess like if
like
you're
a
gonna get
Nobel
accused
Prize
of
winner.
anything, probably pimping is probably the coolest, you know? Like I'd rather be
Also, you could be like,
accused
look,
of pimping than like major tax evasion.
well, it probably looks like it makes his grandkids think he's cooler or something, maybe. Like they're like, do you know what I mean? Like my granddad's in a nursing home. Oh, mine just got cleared of pimping in a federal indictment.
Oh fuck.
Like it's a bit more street cred
Yeah, it's more street
in the
cred.
bourgeois for the bourgeois sort of kids or whatever.